I can give you a quick little history of Ukraine and why it's so screwed up. Okay?
Yeah.
I believe Putin's an evil, evil person, but I can tell you why he invaded Ukraine. Okay, so it all goes back to 1959. Khrushchev, the Soviet premier, he gave Crimea to the Ukraine for bookkeeping. Basically, that's what it was. Crimea is not connected to old school Soviet Union, Russia. Okay, but it was part of Russia for over 400 years. But it is connected to Ukraine. So Khrushchev and Ukraine was under the Soviet thumb. Ukraine was basically part of the Soviet Union. So they gave Crimea to him. So when the Soviet Union broke up, they took Crimea along with them. So that's where, and then when the Soviet Union broke up, there was a deal that the bordering countries to Russia would not join NATO or the European Union. And the reason why they didn't want them joining the European Union was like ever since the European Union was formed in 1959, there has been plans for a European Union army. And you have to think of this, okay? Like, why are they so against Ukraine joining NATO? Well, what would we do if the Russians put a military base right on our border with Mexico? Kind of freak us out, right?
Yeah.
And you also have to think of the Russian mindset where 1 out of 8 people died during World War II.
Jeez.
1 out of 8. There was 200 million. There was 2 million orphans at the end of World War II in the Soviet Union. And if you're going to invade Russia, you go through Ukraine. Okay, Moscow's 400 miles from the border. That's where, that's where it's always been invaded through. That's where Napoleon went. It's where the Germans went and everything like that. So you can understand why they didn't want that. But we kept on breaking the rules, added more countries, added more companies. Russia getting mad, right? And Putin put his foot down. Like, if it happens in Ukraine, I'm going to invade. So, in a democratically elected leader of Ukraine says, like, you know what? I see the writing on the wall. This was like 2013. I'm not. You know what? We're going to have an economic alliance with Russia because that's who we do so much business with, with oil and pipelines and everything like that. And militarily, we're just going to be neutral. We're going to be the next Switzerland. And everybody was cool with that, except the Obama administration and Hillary Clinton was Secretary of State, spent $50 million with the National Endowment for Democracy, I think it's called. I might have that a little bit wrong. It's solely funded by the CIA. They created a coup in Ukraine.
Wow.
Got a new leader in there that was new leader says we're going to join NATO, we're going to join the European Union. The Russians invade, they take Crimea. They make a little peace deal. Trump comes in office, says, it's not going to happen. They're not going to join NATO. Everything was fine. The second Biden went in office was, you guys got to join NATO and you got to join the European Union. Basically, the leaders that are American puppets said, yeah, that's what we're going to do. And Putin invaded.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not saying that Putin's a good guy or should have invaded or anything like that, but the writing was on the wall. This would happen. But everyone let it happen. And we know who wanted it to happen. That was the military industrial complex, because it's a great business model for them, because you sell them a bomb, they only get to use it once, and then you got to go buy another one.
Makes you wonder how many of these wars have been orchestrated like that.
Oh, no, it's always been like that. I mean, it's like, it's the old adage, follow the money.
A lot of money in wars.
There's a ton of money. And also the other thing is, if Ukraine joined NATO, I mean, because their entire military, all their equipment is old Soviet Union stuff. If you join NATO, you got to be NATO compliant. You got to get rid of those AK-47s. You got to buy M4s.
Wow.
Okay, and then you have to change all your ammo. You need 10 billion rounds of ammo for those guns. You need NATO style tanks. You need NATO style artillery. They have to buy all that stuff. And that's one of the reasons why they wanted to join NATO.
So NATO's just a business.
Yeah.
They're just trying to make money.
Yeah. No, because if everybody's doing trade and everybody's happy, there is no war. But like, people make money off wars. It's a screwed up country. It's been that way forever.
That's pretty concerning because there's so many people that want to join the military to honor their country, but they don't know what's actually going on behind the scenes.
So hopefully, hopefully they just straighten this out. And also just the way the border lines were in Ukraine, the eastern Ukraine, it is mostly Russian. So like, I hope they can. And that's what bothered me so long during the Biden administration is like, Ukraine's got to win. Ukraine. I'm like, no, the fucking war's got to end. Let's just have people stop dying. Why don't that be our goal instead of like picking sides? Let's just stop the goddamn war.
Yeah.
But no one would say that. And it was every politician. No, Ukraine's got to win this. Like, no, this Russians got nukes. I mean, it's not going to end badly. End well. Let's just end the war.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my little politics thing there.
I can see why people try to cancel you for that.
Yeah, no, but it's just the facts. I mean, let's, the whole Ukraine thing, it has bothered me so much. Like, let's just end the fucking war and have people stop. Yeah, and let's have people stop fucking dying. Let's come with let's figure out an agreement because one could be made. Some people have to be humbled and say like, no, okay, yeah, we're gonna have to give up this. You're gonna have to. Yeah.
I know ending all the wars was a big thing Trump ran on this term, but I wonder if he actually has that influence to do that.
Let's hope. I mean, it's the insanity of the world, and you have like take Iran or something like that. They're probably going to put a hit out on me for this. But it's the way politicians work around the world. I mean, like, say you live in Iran. Okay, your life sucks. Okay, this is the analogy I give of Iran. Okay, so. You're 16 years old, you're poor, you're on the bus to your shitty job at McDonald's. You look out the window, you see another 16-year-old, he's in a brand new convertible Mustang, you automatically hate him. Okay? You take like people in Iran, which is an oil-rich country, okay? And they see the Americans doing so well, the government's not going to come along and say, well, we're not doing well because the government runs everything like shit. They're going to say, it's the Americans keeping us down. They're ruining our lives. Okay, so and they just pounded in their head, hate America because the government does a shitty job, and and the government does so much evil stuff. You can never change the government because if they do change the government, everybody in the government's going to be executed.
So you pay a lot of attention to politics.
I read a lot. Yeah, I'm kind of a nerd.
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode.